You can have a file explorer, a text editor, and a command line all inside of your terminal. It's called LazyVim and will change how you will use your terminal forever. Now, you might be wondering, couldn't we just open Visual Studio Code and the terminal and the file explorer? Well, yeah, we could do that. But wouldn't it be simpler and more productive to have everything inside of one app? Everything is inside our terminal, so we don't constantly have to switch between them, and it's so easy to use hotkeys to switch between all of these different parts. Like, everything is in one place, ready to be used. Now, if you want to learn more, let's hop in. So the very first thing that we have to do is we have to go to lazyvim.org. So we're going to lazyvim.org. Now, when you scroll down a little bit, what you immediately see is it requires NeoVim in the version 0.11.2. Right? Now, if you're on Ubuntu like me, then you probably have to install NeoVim manually. But if you're on Fedora instead, you most likely can install it directly via DNF. So what we can do is we can open up our terminal and we can say now, because I'm on Ubuntu, I'm going to say sudo apt search NeoVim. I'm going to enter my password and it's going to say here that NeoVim can be installed in version 0.10.4. Right? But this doesn't work for us. So what we have to do is we have to go to neovim.io, if I can type, right? And what we have to do is we have to click on install now, and now it's going to say what kind of version we want to download. Now, because I'm on Linux with ARM64, I'm going to click on this package. All right, and it's quickly going to download that. So we're hopping into our downloads folder with cd downloads, and then we're going to say sudo tar-c/opt/xzf, and we're going to say the NeoVim, this one, the nvim linux-arm64-tar.gz. Now the -c is going to put it into the /opt folder. So we're hitting enter, and now it's decompressed. So now we have to create a symlink to access that file whenever we want to use it in our terminal. To do that, we are going to say sudo ln-s opt nvim bin nvim, and we're going to link that towards user local bin, and we're going to call it nvim, and we're hitting enter. Now, if I'm hitting nvim, you can see nvim is now installed in the version 0.11.6. That's great. So now I'm going to leave that again with writing column Q, and I'm hitting enter. But now at this point, we don't have LazyVim installed. So we still have to install LazyVim, but I can promise you that's super easy, right? So we're going back again and back again to lazyvim.org. And now we're clicking on the left side on installation. What we have to do here is we have to copy this one, the first line. The other ones are optional. And we have to paste that in here. Now, because this is a fresh installation and I've never used LazyVim before, it's not going to find anything, right? So it says like no such file or directory. Oh, what a weird coincidence. Now we're going to quickly download that. Now it could be the case that I don't have Git installed. Ah, perfect. I don't have Git installed. Awesome. Let's quickly install that, right? So we're going to install it. Bam. Now, if you would be actually super smart, and like I'm probably not that smart apparently, we also have to install curl and GCC, not directly to download it, but because LazyVim needs it for a couple of modules, so we're quickly going to install those as well. Now we're going to paste our git clone into this one, right? Now this is special because now it put that directory not into my current folder, which is downloads, but it put it instead into my home folder and then .config neovim or nvim. So the next step that we have to do is we have to quickly remove one folder inside our recently cloned repository, which is the hidden.git folder, right? So we're going to copy this command and we're going back to our terminal, pasting it in here, and bam, it's removed, right? And if we now hit nvim, it's now going to install all of the different plugins that we need for it, and it's going to take a couple of seconds. And now we can already see like it's going to change and it will look a little bit different. But what you will probably immediately notice right down here at the bottom, you will see these weird icons, and they're not really icons because it has problems to load the real icons. Now, this is the next step we have to do. It's super simple. We only have to install a font and we have to tell our terminal to use the font. It's incredibly simple. So we're going to say column Q again, and then we're out, right? You could have also said column QA to quit all, but who cares? So to install that font now, what we have to do is we first have to create a folder for that. So we're going to say mkdir -p, and we have to put that inside of our home folder. So I'm going to say home bjsonnen, and then .local share, and then this folder doesn't exist in Ubuntu, for example, which is fonts. So I'm quickly going to create fonts. Now the next thing we have to do is we have to download this JetBrains nerd font. And so far we're not going to do anything special with it. We're just going to paste it in here. You can find this link in the video description, and we're hitting enter. And it's going to download that. It takes a couple of seconds. So the next thing we have to do is we have to decompress that folder and put it into a special place, meaning that font folder we just created. So we're going to say unzip JetBrains mono -d, which is the destination where we're going to put it. And we're going to say home bjsonnen and .local share and fonts, and let's call it JetBrains mono, and we're going to hit enter. And now it's going to put all of these files into that folder. Now, the next thing we have to do is we quickly have to remove, or we should remove, that zip file, right? Because we no longer need it, so who cares? So we're going to close our terminal next. We're going to reopen that terminal. And in the top right corner, you see those 3 horizontal lines. Let's click on those, and we go onto Preferences. And now I have this one selected, the standard Ubuntu one. And now I'm scrolling down, and under font, you can see Use System Font. I'm clicking on that one, right? And I'm disabling it. And then I'm clicking on this little arrow to the right side. And now I can say JetBrains. Right now I'm searching for JetBrains, and I'm going to select the JetBrains Mono Nerd Font Regular. I'm going to select this one, right? I'm going to close this one. If I'm now saying NVIM, right? You can see on the left side here, all of these different icons are perfectly loaded. So that's great, all right? To quit again, I'm going to say column QA. And I know what you're thinking, right? Like, so far we haven't done anything really yet. We installed something fancy. Ooh, how great, right? But let me show you what we can actually do with it. And there is so many features, I can't talk over all of them, but I think it is super important to just give you the basics, and then you can go from there and modify as much as you want. To play around with LazyVim, what we're going to do is we're going to clone the NVIM source code. So we're going to paste that in here. Again, you can find all of these different links in the video description, and I'm hitting enter, and it's going to quickly download all of these files. And now the next thing we have to do is we have to say NVIM, and now what folder do we open, right? Or do we want to open? If I want to open the current one, I would press a dot, right? But what I could also say in this case is I want to open the NeoVim folder. So I'm hitting enter. I'm definitely going to make my window a little bit bigger, right? Right, so bam, and here we have it. Now, what can we see on the left side here? On the left side, we have our file explorer, right? We can move around with the arrow keys, right? And for example, I could open the CMake folder with enter, and I could open any other file. Now, this works, but there's a better way to do it, right? We don't have to use the arrow keys. What we want to use instead is H, J, K, and L. Now, why does this matter? Now, if I'm pressing K, I'm going upwards. If I'm pressing J, I'm going downwards. If I want to open a file, right, or let's open another folder, which is this cmake.config, right? I'm pressing the L key, so bam, and it's open. I can open this one, and to be honest, like, it's going to take a while to get used to. I still have to get used to it. Like, I want to be honest with you. Like, I'm not some kind of god who suddenly knows everything, right? But like, I've seen how people are working with it, and it's fucking amazing. I want to be able to do the same, and I want to share it with you because I think it's amazing, right? Now, the reason why we want to do that, so far it's just like a little bit more complicated. What we want to do is now I'm pressing L again, right? And I'm opening up that file. And now you might be, okay, so I'm pressing J to go down and K to go up. But if I'm pressing H, I go back to the original file, right? No, it doesn't. It doesn't work like that. So what we have to do is we have to press Control and then press H, and bam, I'm back. And this is the hotkey. Now at this point, you will quickly realize how important that is to use H, J, K, and L, right? So we can move around, and we never have to move our hand down to the arrow key. So this is going to be a huge lifesaver, and you can freely move between those. Now, if I would open a second one, right? Now I'm pressing L again, and bam, it opened a second tab for us. Now, how do we switch between those, right? What we have to do is we have to press Shift plus H, and we can freely move between them, right? Now, I'm pressing H and L, right, to move between them, but you can, like, I don't know, constantly use H again if you want to, and then you're going to the left all the time until you end up on the far right again. Now, maybe you're going to run into that problem where you are like, okay, so I don't want to work in this file, right? What can I do? Maybe you're like, oh, I'm simply going to move the mouse cursor over, I'm going to press that X, right? But the reason we are doing this, the reason we never want to move away from our keyboard is because we want to be as productive as possible, right? Like that's the main idea, so you don't want to use the mouse at all, right? And because I'm on a MacBook, it's fairly close, like otherwise I would constantly have to move my hand over, which is a little bit awkward. So if you want to close this one window, what you can do is you can press column Q, and which is going to quit this current one. Now, sometimes you're going to run into the problem where you accidentally close your Explorer, right? And it's fairly easy to do that, right? Like I can press column here and this little command line menu is going to pop up. I'm pressing Q and you'd be like, oh, now it's gone. Whoopsie, right? So what do we do? How do we get it back? Now, if you press spacebar, and on the right side, you see like these different things that you can use, right? And I'm simply going to say Explorer Snacks, which is small e. So I'm going to press that and everything's back. It's that simple. Now, at the start of this video, I was talking about something else as well, right? So far, we only have the File Explorer on the left side and we have the text editor on the right side. But I was also talking about the terminal, right? And I want to be honest with you. I'm not going to bullshit you into believing this is not possible. It's absolutely possible, right? So I'm pressing spacebar again and I'm hitting F, and then I'm going to hit T for terminal, and bam, we have our terminal, right? So I can say like PWD and bam, everything is working. Now, sometimes you want to close that window again. And to do that, it's super, super simple. Now, I want you to look at the bottom left where it says terminal. If I'm pressing escape key twice, right, it's going to go to normal. And if I'm now saying column Q, it's going to close that terminal again, right? But if I would now press my F again, space, then F, then T, right, it's back again. It's that simple. Now, if you already know Vim, then this tutorial is over. You already know everything, right? Like there are massive tutorials on YouTube about how to configure everything in LazyVim and how to make it even prettier, right? How to make it even more blooming or whatever you want to call it. From my point, I want to make it as simple as possible. And this was like, I don't know, the kind of tutorial I was always looking for. But here's the thing, right? Like if you've never worked with Vim, NeoVim is going to be quite a little bit challenging, right? But it's very, very useful to get to know Vim, right? So if you would want to edit something in here, right? Like you would try to start to write something and nothing is going to write. Like nothing's going to appear on the screen. What you have to press is, again, look at the bottom left. It says normal. If I'm pressing I, then it says insert. Now I can say hello in here, right? Now, if I'm pressing escape, I'm going back to the normal mode. Why does this matter? That's fairly simple, because if I'm now pressing the V key, for example, I'm in visual mode, meaning I can select the stuff. And for example, now I can press X and it's gone, right? So for example, or I'm still in normal mode again, I can press the D key twice, DD, and it's going to remove the entire line. Now, if I would want to write that, I would have to be in normal mode, right? Like if I'm in insert mode, I'm going to press column, nothing's going to happen. But if I'm in normal mode, right, with escape key, I'm going to press column, then this little command line tool or whatever line is going to appear. And if I'm pressing W for write, it's going to write the file. Now, if I want to close that file, I have to press column again, Q, and it's going to close it. And I can select something else. Now I'm now in a different file, right? Now what could happen, for example, let's say, for example, I'm deleting this line. Maybe you want to be like, well, I want to undo that, right? So what you can say is you can say column, and then you can say undo, or simply U for short, and it's back. Now, if you want to redo that, you would have to press Control plus R and it's gone again. Now, the last thing I quickly want to show you is how to search, and you can search forward, you can search backwards, right? So for example, if you want to search forwards, you're pressing slash, and then you're going to say like, I don't know, Mark, and bam, it found Mark, right? Now, maybe you also want to search backwards, and to do that, what you have to do is you have to press the question mark key, but it's important that you're in normal mode, right? Like, don't forget that. I'm constantly mixing that up. It's horrible, right? And now if I'm saying find, it finds everything. Now there's so much more when it comes to LazyVim that we could explore, but I wanted to keep this video as short as possible because I've seen those videos which are like 40-50 minutes long, and no thanks, right? Like I just want to get it done as simple as possible, and I hope you're just like me. But if you want me to do a longer one, right, like say something, comment, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. But I'm hoping I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.